with 107.7 WIVK.
It is 6:48. This is your morning in 8 minutes. A former deputy with the Scott County Sheriff's Office charged with his wife's murder is due in court today.
The TBI says Tommy Duncan shot and killed his wife April in January of last year. Duncan was already behind bars on sex abuse and rape charges. He's now charged with second-degree murder. We'll follow what happens in court today and bring you the new details as we learn them.
And right now, police need your help finding a missing teen. This is 16-year-old Darius Evans. Officials say Evans was last seen leaving a home on Division Street last Thursday. If you know anything about where Darius is this morning, please contact the East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers. That number is on your screen and inside your WVLT News app.
At least one person is dead following a crash on Highway 411 in Blount County. That road is back open this morning. The Blount County Sheriff's Office says it's investigating the crash. We're working to learn more information, and we'll send any updates straight to you through your WVLT News app.
And a $5,000 reward is being offered right now to help bring in any suspects after a deadly shooting near the Cave in East Knoxville on Saturday. Police say 24-year-old Adrian Roebuck was working as the Cave's armed security guard off Magnolia when a shooting started on a nearby street away from the club. He was hit and killed in that shooting. Last night, dozens of people attended a vigil for Roebuck at Holston Park. If you know anything about what happened, you can leave an anonymous tip through the East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers. We've got a link in their number in your WVLT News app.
The man accused of killing two women inside a South Knoxville home is due in court tomorrow. Police arrested Jair Martin early Thursday morning in Lonsdale. Court documents show Madison and Heidi Johnson were both found dead. One was shot, the other stabbed. Officers say Martin and one of the victims got into an argument. At the time, he was in a relationship with one of them. Right now, he's charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder.
And a coach at a popular cheer gym in Knoxville is behind bars charged with child sex crimes. Dominic Frizzell, a former coach at Premier Athletics, is charged with 4 child sex crimes, including statutory rape. The case is part of a larger lawsuit surrounding Memphis-based Varsity Spirit that started in September of last year. Attorneys filed the federal lawsuit in Memphis naming alleged abusers, including Premier Athletics in Knoxville.
Mayor Glenn Jacobs says the raises Sheriff Tom Spangler is asking for are impossible without raising taxes. The sheriff wants a 30% salary increase for KCSO employees. The mayor says homeowners would have to foot the bill to increase the budget through $235 more in property taxes every year. The sheriff says he plans to go before County Commission again at their next meeting. As a last resort, Spangler says he will file a lawsuit against the county if the 30% raise is not met. The mayor says a lawsuit would be unfortunate and expensive.
And about 1,600 third graders in Knox County are now taking extra steps after failing the English portion of the TCAP test. Students can either retake the test, sign up for summer school, or tutoring. Right now, more than 1,500 third graders are enrolled in summer learning. Those numbers came out before the TCAP scores were released. We have reached out to other counties and we'll keep you updated on how schools will be handling a possible big influx of summer school students.
The Burlington Business District is having a community meeting tomorrow evening at Greater Warner Tabernacle AME Zion Church. The city has a revitalization plan for the business district in East Knoxville, and they want to hear from you. The Burlington Business District Association is getting $2 million from the city and private investors.
They're going to widen the streets, get us some new sidewalks. I call it the new Burlington.
They also want you to come out to help find solutions to the Greyhound bus line's drop-off location.
Target recalled nearly 5 million of its popular threshold candles because they can break and cause severe burns. There are over 130 reports of the glass jars breaking or cracking while burning. If you have any of these candles, stop using them. You can take them back to the store for a full refund.
New this morning, Uber's diversity chief's been put on leave after a work event titled "Don't Call Me Karen" that focused on the experience of white women in America. The New York Times reports employees felt the event was done in poor taste and said the Chief Diversity Inclusion Officer, Bo Young Lee, was dismissive of the concerns raised about it by people of color.
The murder suspect in the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students will be back in court today in an Idaho courtroom. Brian Koberger set to be arraigned for the stabbing deaths. A grand jury indicted the 28-year-old criminology graduate student on 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary.
In new this morning, Paul Whelan, the Marine vet wrongly detained in Russia since 2018, tells CNN he's confident the government will get him home. The 53-year-old says he's been told the release of both he and detained journalist Evan Gershkovich are priorities.
And Brooks Koepka is on top of the PGA World again, winning his third PGA championship, his fifth major title on Sunday. He's now the first major winner to play on the LIV Golf Tour. And it's officially Visit Knoxville Open Week. The tournament gets underway on Thursday, but there are events all weekend long. We'll have you covered each morning on WVLT News. This morning, coming up at noon, 4, 5, and 6 o'clock. We'll also be there live this morning at 9.
Well, Fast X sped to the top of the box office. Over the weekend, the 10th installment of the Fast and Furious franchise raked in more than $67 million domestically and almost $320 million globally. The earnings make the film the second biggest international film opening of the year, behind Super Mario Brothers movie.
It is 6:54. We do going to get a look at your first alert traffic as you start to head out the door. Taking a look at downtown Knoxville. 4075 looks good there. 640 looks nice. So does Chapman Highway and Alcoa Highway to start things off. The split 4075 looks good. Pellissippi Parkway not too shabby. Here's a live look I-40 east of downtown. This volume actually looks better than it did about 20 minutes ago if you're headed this way this morning. And into I-40 at Hall of Fame Drive, heading back to downtown. Traffic moving smoothly to start your morning.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley.
And if you're just trying to get your week started, know that we do have a lot of clouds now, but we still have plenty of filtered sunshine today. That means our UV index is still very high. Don't let that trick you. I've got my sunscreen ready to go as we head out there to Holston Hills. Also know that there's moderate air quality and then moderate pollen counts. Really, when we get into that medium level, what we're feeling today, impacted by some of you more than others, maybe trees get you, it's grass, and then dust as well as the mold levels come back down with some of that sun. Remember, we do have some isolated rain right now in Blount County, a little warmer south to Central Valley, 59 Oak Ridge to 60 Knoxville, 55 Washburn, and 48 in Williamsburg. Wanted to show you where we have that lone rain again that's been slowly bubbling up in the mountains and trying to slide downhill. Basically, it's going to just drive down the highway across the city of Maryville towards Louisville, towards South Knoxville. So to give you more of a precise track from Look Rock here in the next couple of minutes towards Anwick around 7:15, Wildwood, downtown Maryville about 7:15, and then Louisville closer to 7:30. So that's the top side exit there at Pellissippi Parkway. A lot of you are seeing those clouds move around this morning. As we go through the day, though, those clouds hit our terrain and create more of a stray pop-up, but at least we can keep it to about a 10% coverage. Nice light breeze out of the northeast, going from 70 at noon to 82 your high. Just hopefully this part puts a smile on your face, since we have just enough humidity to work with to create those stray pop-ups. So one of those days, you got to stay hydrated, you got to have the sunscreen. It's summer in East Tennessee, y'all. I mean, check out this first alert 8-day planner to go with it. Lots of 80s, lots of a mix of sun and clouds. Got a couple of pop-ups today and tomorrow. See a few more to end the week or starting Memorial Day weekend. As we go into the weekend, though, that heat is sticking around into early next week. So we got a lot to track for you here in terms of those pop-ups. And meteorologist Paige Noel will be taking over here in a few minutes, because we are headed out to get that good preview in at the Visit Knoxville Open.
And judging by that 8-day, you'd think you almost drew it up perfectly for a golf
Well,
tournament
you
coming to town.
know, if you slip me some dark chocolate and flowers, the weather goes your way. I'm just saying. Don't do that. I'm just joking.
It doesn't work like that. All right, yeah, we are headed out to Holston Hills, and you're going to have Kristen and Paige for WBXX in your 9 o'clock.